Waheguru Kaur Khalsa, Waheguru Ki Fateh. Gursat Singh here with an update on the recent lies and violations of the Sikh Reht Maryada that are being perpetrated by the SikhNet and Yogi Bhajan tantric yogis. Now here you'll see in this first frame an event that is being billed as an Adi Shakti Gong Puja. And you'll see a large khanda in the middle of the poster which symbolizes this so-called Adi Shakti. Now, I will tell you that Yogi Bhajan labeled the Sikh khanda as an Adi Shakti, which is symbolic of his Shiv Shakti worship. This was Yogi Bhajan's agenda, to promote this Shiv Shakti worship. Dr. Trilochan Singh talks specifically about this in his book, Sikhism and Tantric Yoga. And I would encourage all of you to read that book. It is a very excellent review of Yogi Bhajan's agenda and shows you what SikhNet is really up to. Now, the person who is promoting this event is a Kaur Khalsa from Mexico. And he is a good friend with Guru Mustik, who is the director and founder of SikhNet. Many of you may know him as Mr. SikhNet. And you can see him here posed in a friendly photograph and colluding with this Kaur Khalsa, this Guru Mustik Singh. Now, there are many un-Sikh-like practices that the Yogi Bhajan people promote, along with these ridiculous Adi Shakti Gong Pujas. And you will see here the Chertikala Jata was also commiserating with this Kaur Khalsa. And you'll see Gurmukh, who many of you know participates in these pujas there in Rishikesh 2 or 3 times a year. She has actually brought 3HO people there to perform a completely Hindu wedding at her instigation, this Gurmukh. And the SikhNet people and the Yogi Bhajan people just commiserate with each other. And you can see in these photographs, they're all very friendly. They are all commiserating to promote these Yogi Bhajan un-Sikh-like practices, which are more Hindu than Sikh. Now you can see here this Guru Singh, who's also very friendly with this Kaur Singh. He's one of the directors over there at the Sikh Dharma International, which controls all of the SikhNet budget, their activities. All of these things are controlled by this board of directors that is now in charge of all the Yogi Bhajan activities and all the Yogi Bhajan organizations, which, by the way, consists of billions of dollars worth of business that they do with this Yogi Tea and the Sakal security. Now, Gurmukh, as I mentioned, is one of the lead poster yogis for SikhNet and the Yogi Bhajan organizations. And as I said, she routinely goes to Rishikesh and participates in these Shiv Lingam pujas, these fire pujas, all with this Swami who's part of the RSS. And his goal is to subsume Sikhi into this Hindu Vata serpent, this Hindu Vata big snake. That's his agenda. And he was good friends with Yogi Bhajan. You'll see later on here, I'll show some pictures of Yogi Bhajan's last rite Hindu funeral services, which this same puja Swami performed. Now, SikhNet promotes Gurmukh, and there's no doubt about it. You can see here, this was a direct article from SikhNet where they promoted this Gurmukh. And she does these pujas and does this un-Sikh-like practices routinely. And this has been written up by SikhNet. The SikhNet top philosophical writer, Ekon Karkar, has said that Gurmukh's pujas and these other pujas that the SikhNet people do are just interfaith gatherings, is the way they build them. Well, it's not. It's the worship of Hindu gods and goddesses, and they try to package it in such a way that they try to make it interfaith. Well, that is not what it is. They are worshiping the Hindu gods and goddesses, and they do it so routinely that it is beyond just interfaith kind of gatherings. If they were truly interfaith, they would have Muslims, they would go to mosques and do these things, but you never see them do in mosques or any of these things else, or any of these other places. It's only at this Paramatma Kirtan ashram in these in Rishikesh there, in these Hindu ashrams there. And many of the names and many of the titles and events are directly related to these Hindu Vata events that SikhNet and these Yogi Bhajan people do. Now here you'll see also this Sanatam Kaur there on the right, who's a lead singer for the Yogi Bhajan group, and she's participating in this Hindu arti there. You see that Guru Singh there I showed you earlier, who's the board of directors of their Sikh Dharma International there in Espanola, and then this Gurmukh Kaur, and then that same Swami. So now here's Yogi Bhajan himself performing these Hindu pujas, and then this Gurmukh Kaur and the other Yogi Bhajan people got the idea that this is okay, and they continue to do these pujas and promote them and get other 3HO people involved in this stuff. You know, I really am very disturbed by the continuation of these Hindu Vata practices, and that's why I'm exposing this and bringing this out, that people needs to be aware of this. And before you make any donations to SikhNet, you should really think hard about what you're really promoting here. The Yogi Bhajan people use their these monies to promote all of the Yogi Bhajan activities. And you'll notice, too, in these events, like the so-called Adi Shakti Puja that this Hadhadi Singh is promoting, you can see there it says donation $108. They charge for all these things. And this is how they make their income, so that they can promote themselves and they can continue their lifestyle, their tantric yoga lifestyle. They don't do it just for free. Now here is the Hindu last rites that I was telling you about that was done for Yogi Bhajan in 2004. They took part of his ashes there to Rishikesh, and this same Hindu Swami from the Paramatma Kirtan ashram, who was a long-time, lifelong friend of Yogi Bhajan, who performed pujas for his family and did all of these Hindu rituals, performed the Hindu last rites for Yogi Bhajan. Along with participating in this was Yogi Bhajan's family. You can see them there. And then also some 3HOers there in the background. Now, what's interesting about this is that the Sikh News Network published an excellent article which goes in depth about this whole thing. They interviewed people from the Paramatma Kirtan ashram, the head leaders there, and they said yes, Yogi Bhajan and his people came there and performed these Hindu last rites rituals, but SikhNet and the other Yogi Bhajan people deny it. They don't want Sikhs to know about this. And these are the lies, these are the deceptions that SikhNet is purposely doing in order to deceive Sikhs, in order to get them to donate to SikhNet and continue their tantric Hindu Vata agenda, their Shiv Shakti agenda. Now here you'll see Gurmukh Kaur and her husband actually performing a fire puja not very long ago, just maybe a couple months ago, at this Paramatma Kirtan ashram. And you can see that same Hindu Swami there, who's a part of the RSS, and his agenda is to subsume Sikhi into their Hindu Vata serpent there. You can see Gurmukh Kaur and her husband there performing these pujas. This is proof positive. This was a secret video that was taken there, and you can see it for yourself, how they perform these Hindu pujas. And they're also chanting these Hindu artis and mantras, worshipping Hindu gods and goddesses. It was a complete violation of the Sikh Reht Maryada. And then SikhNet promotes this Gurmukh Kaur. How can she call herself Gurmukh Kaur? It's complete disrespect for the Sikh religion and for Gurbani and for it's complete disrespect to Sikhs. Now, many of you have seen SikhNet's new donation drive. They have a yearly donation drive. And I'm sure you've all noticed how this window pops up and asks you to donate to SikhNet. It's very annoying, and I think it's very disrespectful to Gurbani. Some Sikhs have commented how this window for donations on SikhNet pops up right in the middle of when they're listening to Gurbani. And even though they close it, it comes back again and until they donate. It's very disrespectful, and this practice needs to stop. But it shows you just how money hungry and greedy SikhNet is about getting these donations. It's all about money. All of their events they charge for, they want money before you do anything else. They charge for what they call spiritual names. They have donations that you have to give. They thinly veil it as a donation, but the reality is that they're very high-pressured sales techniques in order to get you to donate. Now, recently, a friend of mine visited Espanola, and they wanted to go talk to the SikhNet people and also to receive Guru Sahib Ji's darshan. And so, much to their surprise, the gates were all locked around the Yogi Bhajan Dera. Now, SikhNet keeps Guru Sahib Ji in Prakash there at the Gurdwara. You can see the gold dome, and inside the Gurdwara there, Guru Sahib Ji is kept in Prakash. Every Gurdwara should be open to Sikhs or anybody for that matter to come have Guru Sahib Ji's darshan. And this was during the middle of the day. There were cars in the parking lot. It was very clear that there were people inside, but there was no way for my friend to come inside and to receive Guru Sahib Ji's darshan. I think this is more evidence how SikhNet and the Yogi Bhajan people are cutting themselves off from Sikhs, and they don't want Sikhs to see what really goes on inside the Yogi Bhajan Dera. Now you will notice right there, just right next to this gold dome, and I'm putting the cursor on it there, there is a wood pentagon, I guess you would say, where this idol or murti to Baba Siri Chand is kept. And I'll show you how the SikhNet people bow to this idol, and they deny it. They deny that people worship this idol, but it is kept there right next to the Gurdwara. There's two of them. There's this bronze one, and then there's a gold one. Here's Guru Mustak Singh talking about this. And these are more of the lies that Guru Mustak Singh promotes there. He says, in this video, they talked about how no white Sikhs don't worship idols. And he says, this is based on rumors and misleading information. Well, Guru Mustak Singh, I have news for you. There is photographic evidence that your 3HO people, your SikhNet people, worship these idols. And there it is, right there, bowing to this idol of Baba Siri Chand. I also have pictures of them doing kirtan and worshipping with this golden idol of Baba Siri Chand. They're right next to Yogi Bhajan's death place. Here's more locked gates there at the SikhNet headquarters. Here you can see the signs for SikhNet. So let there be no doubt. This is their headquarters. They're in Espanola, New Mexico. And all the gates were locked. This is according to my friend who went there recently, and they walked all around the dera, and there was just no way to get inside. And Garuka Singh has said the same thing here in that video about denying that as they put it, white Sikhs. We're all Sikhs, but they say that they're white Sikhs. Anyway, so the SikhNet people say here, and this is the sign that was posted outside that my friend took a picture of. It says, "This is private property. We reserve the right to refuse anyone service." Who are they to refuse a Sikh to be allowed to come in and receive Guru Sahib Ji's darshan? Here's another view of that gate, completely locked up. The whole place was locked up, just as tight as a drum. Now here you can see this again through the fence there. There's some other kind of white murti there. Looks like some kind of Buddhist murti there. They have all kinds of un-Sikh-like practices there, and symbols and things that they do. And sometime, if anybody wants to visit there, I'd be happy to tell you things that you should see if you're there, so that you get an idea of all the un-Sikh-like practices that they perform and do. Now you can see here this keypad or panel. There's codes on it there, but there's no intercom, so that you can talk to anybody inside. This is one of the street signs out there. Now this is what they do inside here. They worship Yogi Bhajan's portraits and photographs. They have a big tantric photograph of painting of Yogi Bhajan on the wall there inside the Gurdwara. And then Baba Sri Chand, there's that gold idol there. And you can see here the Yogi Bhajan people with their white dastars in the foreground, where they're worshiping there at Yogi Bhajan's death place. And they do this all the time. You can see them prostrating there at Yogi Bhajan's death place. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji told us not to worship at the graves of the dead, but yet the Yogi Bhajan people do this routinely, especially when on his anniversary of his death. Now, I did a video this summer which showed the Yogi Bhajan people dancing around in the Darbar of the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji. These are some more of the un-Sikh-like practices that are promoted by SikhNet. And one of the SikhNet directors there is this Harijot Singh. He participated in that. So I think that Sikhs should write SikhNet. You should, if you're donating to SikhNet, please stop. Tell them that when they stop these un-Sikh-like practices, that you'll start to donate again. Or you can make your donation conditional. I did that once, where I sent a donation to them, and I said, you know, you can cash this check when you stop your un-Sikh-like practices. And they sent me the check back. Anyway, so this is an ongoing effort that all Sikhs should participate in, is stopping SikhNet, stopping these Yogi Bhajan people from participating and practicing these un-Sikh-like practices. We need to send a message to SikhNet and the 3HO people to stop this and become Sikhs of the Guru. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.